So, oh my gosh, we're on to part 4 of my first look at Hitfilm Express. As I've explained in previous videos, my first look at Hitfilm Express dragged on for quite a while, and I didn't want you to sit down at a video for over 20 minutes, as you may not have the time to sit down and watch a video for 20 minutes. So I've decided to break down my first look at the software. And when I look at the software for the first time, we break down and have a look at its capabilities, and we learn what the software is capable of. And in this first look, that is basically what we do. So it's well worth having a look at the other previous parts of my first look at Hitfilm Express, especially if you're getting started with the software. So let's click on transitions, video transitions. Now we want to go for a dissolve to begin with, because these are the most simple of transitions, the most basic of transitions, not going to be too complicated, and if we look into the controls it should be quite easy as well. So here we are. An addictive dissolve is a dissolve normally from a darkness, and it's normally brightens up the shot from darkness, or when you're using it to cross through one to another, it normally has a quite a awakening and eye-opening sort of dissolve. Then we have cross dissolve, which is basically fading one shot to another in a dissolving kind of manner. A dither dissolve, which is normally sort of slightly destroying through a dissolve. And then we have a light leak. Now notice how the light leak has this add-on button here. Now the add-on is something that you would have to buy. You'd have to buy a pack for, and until you buy this pack, if you use it, it will be watermarked. So there will be a watermark over your finished exported video and the preview of your video until you have purchased this add-on. And I'm presuming this is the same for many of the elements within the software, and that is where they basically earn their money with this free software. So it's also a good starting point for those editors who are getting started and not used to editing, as you have the most simple of effects that you can apply to your video and audio in order to get you to better understand editing, or the editing process, the post-production process. So I've shown you how to import to the timeline. Now let's add a transition to our video. Now you can see that there is a slight green light on the end of the clip within the timeline here. That is where I'm adding the dissolve. Now I've already added one to the front of the clip. Now we're going to add one to the back of this clip right here. And you can see there's a slight green line. I would like to see more of the timeline, as it is quite small at the moment and it's very, very hard to see. So I'm now going to add this addictive dissolve to the end of our clip by letting go of this click at this point. Now that has now been added. You can see that I've automatically been given the controls window. So the transition that I've just added, I now have the ability to control it, to inspect it, to make it behave differently. So you can see the length of this dissolve. If I click on that, that's awesome. I can actually change the length. So let's change this 2 into a 4. Making the transition longer. Can we make it even longer than that? Let's put a 1 in front of there. Maybe that's made it a little bit longer. I can't really tell in the timeline at the moment. But what I'm going to do is I've added a addictive dissolve to the front of the clip, and I've added it to the back of the clip. It's very hard to see what's going on within the timeline when it's so small. So what we're going to do is we're going to click play. But before we click play, we don't want it to preview this window, which is previewing what's in our media sources of this browser. You want to click on the window on the right, and I'm going to press spacebar to play. There was the first dissolve, and we should have a second dissolve as it dissolves out. There was the second dissolve, and as you could tell, the second dissolve was a lot longer in length. We could actually see if we can scroll up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this point, and I'm going to scroll up to see, yes it does. You can literally scroll the length of this, and it's previewing at the same time. So by clicking and using the scroller, you can change the length of this transition. So let's press play. That was the first transition. Second transition. There we have it. If you're getting started with Hitfilm Express, I've got more videos coming for you. Don't go anywhere, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you do not miss a thing. See it on the screen right there. Yeah baby, this is AnthonyAllenEdits and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.